Today on Softball 360, the battle to make the finals on the Stadium Power Tour tightens up as the season winds down. Two big contests with the postseason on the line. First stop, legendary Busch Stadium in St. Louis, home of the Cards, as Team Mikan and DeMarini go head-to-head. Later, who will hit a bullseye at Target Field in Minneapolis, home of the Twins? Team Reebok and D-Rock Roberts need big blasts tonight. Then, hang out with Team DeMarini in the North Woods of Oregon as Chris Larson and crew break out some new bats and show you what lumber and lighting are all about. Timber Softball 360 starts right now. Is the only show dedicated to the sport of softball.
Hey everybody, I'm Timmy Layton, your host of Softball 360, America's biggest and best TV show covering the summer of softball. The Stadium Power Tour is rolling on and we're making a stop in St. Louis, Missouri, home of the Cardinals. Check out the action.
Progress under the arch as construction of condos and shops continues at Cardinal Town, next to Busch Stadium. But some things in St. Louis never change as fans gather hours before game time at the Stan Musial statue, and Fred Bird never lets them down. The Long Haul Bombers prep for the home run show in the Cards boardroom. The stage is set for one of the tightest points battles ever. Each swing today does matter. The rules are simple. Each slugger gets 15 swings. Each homer is worth 1 point, except the money ball, which is worth 2 points and could be a tiebreaker. Leading off, Chris the Crusher Larson steps to the plate for Team DeMarini. Larson has the classic swing needed to send evil softballs deep into the yard. Note the whip it good swing on his DeMarini Stadium CL22 bat. Chris is one of the youngest players on tour and has already claimed a championship. Not only is Chris a professional softball player, but he also works for DeMarini and Wilson Sporting Goods in the design of what else? Softball bats. Chris doesn't disappoint the softball fans in St. Louis. He's crushing the ball on his mad dash to the finals. And on the money ball, take it to the bank. Crusher, cash money, 9 points and the early lead. Up next for Team Mikan is Ed the Kid Vega. The kid is big and powerful with a swing to match. But today, Kid is off to a slow start. But suddenly, the gentle giant comes alive. And Kid shows what he knows. Bang, zoom! That one leaps off his Mikan bat. At 6'5" and 300 pounds, Kid has the girth needed for the long ball. And while Kid picks up the pace, it's a tad late, and he ends his shift at the plate with 8 respectable points. Get ready for Bubba Brungart slugging for Team DeMarini. Bubba is poised and ready to shake up the Stadium Power Tour. At 6 foot tall, 240 pounds, Bubba is a Google search for compact power. When he's not hitting softballs, you can find Bubba in the gym, pumping iron and powerlifting. Bubba's resume reads like a best of, with plenty of all-conference and championship titles. And on this one, the evil softball is just foul. Darn it. Bubba is in the groove, but on the money ball, he's just shy and ends up with 9 points. And folks, we have a battle on our hands. It's prime time for Mikan's Denny Crine. At 6'7" and 300 pounds, the laws of physics are on display. DC earned his reputation with a classic smooth swing, and today at Busch Stadium is no exception. Get out of here, ball! DC is, of course, a 2-time champ on the Stadium Power Tour and the first athlete to have a signature Mikan bat, the DC 41 Supermax. DC has 8 points going into the money ball, and he can take the lead on this swing, but oh no, not today, DC. Time now for the champ, the 2012 champion of the Stadium Power Tour, Kevin "Flip" Philby. Flip claimed the top spot last season by going big, being consistent, and sending evil softballs screaming. The big man from Delaware, Ohio, has 7 softball world titles under his belt and has been named All-World 6 times. Flip is a textbook example of what the combinations of youth, power, and the KF30 Philby Supermax can create. He's closing in on today's leader, Chris Larson. Now Flip can take the lead with this swing, and he does. He has 10 points, and the champ wants more. On the money ball, Flip is not happy with that one, but he'll take 10 and the victory in St. Louis.
Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it seemed like we were on it tonight. You know, Denny and Kid missed getting double digits as well by hitting a couple balls off the wall. So, another good event, and that puts us right there where we need to be.
Here's a look at the final standings from a memorable night at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Wow, what a show in St. Louis. The points battle is getting super tight, so make sure you guys check out all the standings at softball360.com. We have more coming your way, so stay right where you're at.
When Softball 360 returns, recap, rewind, and review some of the big hits on the Stadium Power Tour as we press on to the finals. And get ready for round 1 of the WSL Worth North American Championship Series from Panama City Beach, Florida. As the best of the best get ready to crown a softball champion. It's long haul trucking night at Target Field. But before the fireworks, the long haul bombers put on their own brand of explosive power.
Softball 360 is brought to you by Easton Sports. There is a difference, and the difference is Easton. By Miken Sports, elite equipment for the elite player. Miken Sports. By BPAthletics.com. When you want the best in quality, service, and price, log on to BPAthletics.com. And by SoftballCenter.com, the site for major softball news.
Welcome back to Softball 360, everyone. I'm your host, Timmy Layton. Now is the time where we get to hang out with Chris Larson in his hometown of Portland, Oregon, land of lumber and lightning.
Softball in the great Northwest, the perfect place to play ball in the land of tall timbers. It's also home for Team DeMarini's Chris Larson.
Well, I like the preparation. I like to go out and put in the work and take the swings and then watch it unfold when it comes down to game time.
On this day, Larson fires up the Demo-mobile and heads to Ray DeMarini Field near Portland. It's part of a spectacular softball complex named in honor of the company founder Ray DeMarini, whose company brought high-tech bats to the sport.
It gives you that edge already. If you have confidence in the equipment you're working with, then the rest is downhill.
Players of all ages are here for the fun and games, to soak up the sun and take a few rounds of BP. The local DeMarini team is here as well, and they are getting their game on.
You have a bad night, you want to come back and prove that you can play the game. You have a good night, you want to come back and prove that you can do it again.
It's like a family atmosphere. You get out and you know all the guys that you're playing with, playing against. It's like a second family.
And you better believe, in the backyard of the home office, it's all the way live with no half-stepping on the field today.
take a breath and just hit the ball in the mouth, okay? Don't try to do too much. Don't try to think about it. Just hit it in the mouth. Let's go. Blow up right now. Blow up right now. Let's go.
Good news for Team DeMarini. There are plenty of bat options to work with. Demo creates and builds a bat for just about every player, league, and level of play. Larson and Demo teammate Bubba Brungard are checking out some new bats specifically made for the ASA.
It really hits those 52-300s, which is ASA's new ball. It absolutely kills them.
This is the DeMarini Flipper Aftermath, a bat designed to dominate on the fields of ASA games with perfect ASA specs.
This one right here is lights out. I mean, this is going to hit both balls, the 44, 375, and the 52-300. It's a 52-300 killer, though. I mean, it absolutely gives you everything that you put into it.
The Flipper Aftermath is locked and loaded with DeMarini's improved divergence technology. The massive sweet spot is extended horizontally around the barrel, making this the bat of choice for serious ASA players.
Hotter, more durable. This thing kills it. I mean, this is a good time to swing. Not sure that there's a better ASA bat out there.
When I step in a box with a DeMarini in my hand, it's all about confidence. I know that no matter what swing or what pitch I'm hitting, I'm gonna get performance out of the equipment that I'm using.
With many bats to choose from, the Demo players can all agree on a couple of things. They're lucky to have options at the plate and appreciate the leadership Chris Larson provides for the softball community in the Great Northwest.
Keep an eye on Chris Larson and those new DeMarini bats because those bats are hot. We have more ahead on Softball 360.
Still ahead, Timmy Layton goes one-on-one with some of the bombers on the bubble. Sluggers who need a big night at Target Field or face an early end to their season. And from Seattle to San Diego, from Texas to Tampa, a quick look back at some show bombs from the season.
Welcome back to Softball 360. I'm your host, Timmy Layton. Now's the time where we get to rewind and take a look at some of the highlights from this season and a preview of what to expect at the big show at Target Field.
The 2013 Stadium Power Tour started with a kaboom in San Diego. Returning champ Kevin Flip Philby picked up right where he left off. Flip scored 10 big points at Petco Park, and one of the most competitive seasons on tour was launched.
Yes, sir, he did. Get him on their feet, Denny.
Round 2 of the Stadium Power Tour was a double shot with pre- and post-game shows at Great American Ballpark before and after the Reds-Cubbies game. Evil softballs were screaming into the Ohio River, and the result was a rare three-way tie with 11 points for Philby, Larson, and Easton's Brian Wegman slugging in his hometown. A massive crowd in Texas and soaring temps greeted the Bombers after the Rangers-Blue Jays game. Power Tour rookie Scott Kirby and his sweet swing were up to the test in Texas. Look out left field because Curbs is ready to fire. And on the money ball, ka-ching! Take it to the bank with 11 big points. At Turner Field in Atlanta, Mikan's Denny Crime led off and never looked back with some massive blasts deep into the yard. Perfect form and absolute textbook style were on display. DC was on top with 12 big points for Team Mikan, and the two-time champ was on a roll. At the showdown in Motown, Tigers manager Jim Leland had to check out DeMarini's Donovan Devo Pokraka. Devo was tops in Tigertown and hit double figures, 10 big points. The softball world was on notice as Devo arrived. At the home of the Astros, Team DeMarini took the roof off Minute Maid Park. All three Demo players hit 12 points, sending softballs out of the park all the way to Galveston Bay. Now that's only part of the action on the tour, and today's show is ready for liftoff in Minnesota as Reebok, DeMarini, and Mikan are ready to hit a bullseye at Target Field. And Timmy Layton is standing by with the latest news.
Considering you play for Team Mikan, how much of an impact does Team Mikan have when you play here at Target Field?
It's great being here. You know, our bats are made about 3 hours south of the cities, so you know, coming up here every year, it's a great time. It lets the people from Mikan come up, hang out, and watch us put on a show.
It's my last one for the season. Looking to put up a big number for DeMarini.
So you mentioned that you like Target Field. What about this park do you like?
The atmosphere is the biggest thing. The crowds are unbelievable. Most of the time it's a sold-out crowd, so it makes it really good, makes the balls fly a little better. It's 70 degrees today, so we're not used to hitting in this, so it makes it good.
I mean, when you're standing at the plate, though, left field's right on top of you. It's a pretty cool experience, but overall, it's just a clean ballpark.
So far, so good. I think as a team, as a whole, Reebok's doing really good. You know, we still have a chance at the Manufacturers Cup, and you know, to be with all these guys, the camaraderie is the best part, and I love going to all the parks and things like that with all the, you know, just the history behind it. It's awesome to be here every weekend.
Plenty more on Softball 360, so stay where you're at.
Showtime at Target Field in a jiffy as Reebok, Mikan, and DeMarini are all ready for the big show.
Softball 360 is brought to you by DeMarini. Upgrade your game with the DeMarini CL22. By Evil Sports. The best softball on the planet is evil. EvilSports.com. By Reebok. Check out the Reebok 2013 Barrage at suncoastsports.net. And by the WSL. Play the next level. The WSL Worth North American Championship Series.
Welcome back to Softball 360. I'm your host, Timmy Layton. It's time for the big show here at Target Field. Batter up, or as we like to say, bomber up.
It's long haul trucking night at Target Field, but before the fireworks, some on-the-field explosions by the long haul bombers. The rules are simple. Each slugger gets 15 swings. Each homer is worth 1 point, except the money ball, which is worth 2 points and could be a tiebreaker. Now then, let's get this softball party started. Chris the Crusher Larson leads off for Team DeMarini. The Crusher got a head start on the race for a spot in the finals and shows no fear at the plate. Bang! Zoom! Larson gets right to it, and the fans at Target Field are in for a show with some upper deck bombs. Chris is one of the youngest players on tour, but swings with the swagger of an old pro. One after another are launched out of the park. And on the money ball, count it! Larson has set the mark high with 12 points. Stepping up to the plate, Dustin D-Rock Roberts. 1 part slugger, 2 parts basher, and completely amazing at the plate. D-Rock is known for big hits and for sending softballs flying. This one into the upper deck at Target Field is into the home run porch. Hey, nice catch, buddy. D-Rock is also a veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard and has flown rescue missions across the globe. D-Rock is solid at the plate with 6 points, but his hopes for making the finals are getting tough. Up next for Team Mikan is Ed the Kid Vega. The Kid is big and powerful with a swing to match. At 6'5" and 300 pounds, the slugger from Southern California has earned a reputation as a power hitter who flat out crushes the softball. Kid quickly sends some show bombs into the upper tank. Not many folks can lay claim to that. While it's a good show with 6 points, it may not be enough to get the Kid a shot at the postseason. Can anyone top Larson today? If any bomber can, Denny Grand Slam Crine is up to the task. DC swings for Team Mikan and has proven he can get to the top. Twice, he's blasted his way to a Stadium Power Tour championship. DC knows his way around in MLB Park. Earlier in his career, Denny played for the Chicago White Sox until an injury sent him to the dugout. Today, Crine is on time with some upper deck show bombs. Nice one, DC. But he's not going to catch Larson on this day. And Timmy Layton is standing by with the winner.
We just came off Target Field, and I am here with the winner of tonight's event, Chris Larson. Chris, you ended the night with 12 points. How does that affect your points battle for the whole season?
Anytime you can get a 12, it really boosts your standings in the season. And with this, my last event, a 12 really helps me out. I mean, I think it puts me at a pretty good number. Hopefully I get in that final 6 now.
And talk to me a little bit about how the balls were flying tonight and how your bat was working out for you.
Oh, I thought they were flying absolutely amazing. I mean, I watched the couple get up into the big lights, so I hope they made it to the upper deck. I mean, that's all you can do. And we were a little rushed for time, so I couldn't watch many of them, but I feel like the bat did me plenty good tonight.
So here are the final standings from Target Field. Larson wins it in a laugher with everybody else eating his dust.
Wow, what a show at Target Field. The points battle is super tight, and only 6 Bombers can qualify for the finals. So be sure to check out the point standings at softball360.com. That's all the time we have for today, and as I like to say, let's get out to the park and play ball.
Next week on Softball 360, the Stadium Power Tour heads to New York and Citi Field, home of the Mets. For some of the Bombers, it's go big or go home, as the battle to make the finals is on the line. And for one lucky softballer, it's a chance to hit home runs with his heroes. Those stories and more next week on Softball 360.